Let's say you just found a wallet on the ground. No one's around. What you do with that wallet matters. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Don't look at the monitor. Look at the camera. Don't look at the monitor. Look at the camera. Say you're walking in a parking lot. You find a wallet. No one's around. What do you do with it? Let's say you're at the snowboard park. No one's around. What do you do? It's not always about impressing the people that are around, but doing what you know you should do when no one's around. Do you ever find yourself watching your favorite athlete and saying something like, must be nice, oh, he's so good, must be nice? The real question is, when you go out and do that thing you love so much, are you applying yourself to the utmost of your potential? A lot of us have an idea of what being good at something would look and feel like, right? Your favorite athlete didn't get there out of it just happening. Your favorite athlete on any given day is taking the time to get better, whatever that means. Essentially what I'm saying is what we do when no one's watching is going to determine what happens when people are. So in today's video, we're gonna cover some of the standards that I hold myself to that have kind of made me who I am and ensure that in any given situation, I'm the boarder I want to be. And on top of that, not only just snowboarding, you can kind of take some of these ideas and just incorporate them into your everyday life. So yes, as much as this is about snowboarding, a lot of it is just kind of how to be a better you. When you go to board, slide, or rail, make sure you're sideways. Sometimes when we are just boarding around, it's easy to be lazy. Maybe your board slides more like a Willy, maybe your board slides more like a Feeble. I get it, we're just boarding, we're having fun. None of this video is supposed to say if you're just out riding around and you're just having fun and you don't maybe want to go super hard that day, I am not saying that's bad. I'm more or less saying if you want to get to the next level with your snowboarding, you want to practice good snowboarding all the time. So, yes, of course, we're riding in the park. There are going to be times we're not fully sideways. The goal is to be conscious about when we aren't, when we were really trying to be. Most important thing about going sideways is it is actually less dangerous. A lot of us will go to learn board slides and we're kind of doing this light-footed sidestep and we're in between a 50-50 and a board slide, so we're kind of like this. That's a lot of times how people catch their edge and then kind of get this idea that going backwards through rails is scary and dangerous. It's really not. The more sideways you are, the less dangerous it is, I promise. There's not some grandiose way of making sure you're sideways. Besides, when you are sliding on a rail and you look down, if you can tell there is not a 90-degree angle between your snowboard and the rail, you gotta be more sideways. On the contrary, you can sometimes overturn, which will have the same effect. It is a little challenging to learn, but it's easy to understand what isn't fully sideways versus sideways. If you create this habit of not sliding fully sideways when you get to a contest, if it's being judged by snowboarders, that will dock you points immensely. It doesn't matter how many rails you went backwards through. If it was a frontside wheelie through the whole thing, it's kind of not what we're looking for. It's important. Make sure that when you're boarding around, you ask yourself, was I sideways? No? Okay, do it again. It is so okay to do it bad and do it again. Happens to me all the time. Completing the rail in its entirety and the 3-foot rule. When I get done with a rail, I ask myself, if there was 3 feet more rail, would I have made it to the end? If the answer is yes, great. Maybe I'll still do it again to get that muscle memory beat in. But if I ask myself that question and the answer is no, I definitely do it again. Have you ever seen someone do a blunt slide 270, whether it's a back blunt or front blunt, and by the end of the rail, it's almost the end of their tail that's on the rail and they're kind of just sogging off. There's no pop out of it. It's really almost anticlimactic. That is exactly why the 3-foot rule is important. There are the blunt 270s where you sog off and you kind of spin the rest on the ground and whatever, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good either. We've all done them like that. It doesn't feel as good as when you get that pop off. So any given day, I'm lapping in the park, I'm I'm hitting rails. Let's say I'm just doing a switch 50-50. I'm doing a line of switch 50-50s on all 3 rails. If by the end of the last rail, if I'm coming off of it and I'm leaning over like this, if there was 3 feet more rail, would I have made it to the end? No? Okay, then redo it. A lot of people think you made it to the end, but that's sort of what's different about the people you watch that you love to watch versus the people that it doesn't really do much when you watch them. When you're on the internet and you come across a new snowboarder and you end up clicking follow, there's probably reasons why you clicked follow on theirs versus the page you came across that you didn't engage with at all. One of those things might be that the person you enjoyed watching is executing each rail properly. There's nothing too satisfying about sogging off a rail, whether you're the one doing it, whether you're the one watching it, or somewhere in between. It's not as satisfactory as when you get to control the pop out of the rail. If you're spinning onto rails, make sure you spin the full spin before touching the rail. Let's take a frontside 270 onto a rail, for example. If we were to do a frontside 270 on, that is 90 degrees less than a 360. We want to be landing in a switch front board. We do not want to land in a switch 50-50 and then swivel into the front board. Why is this a big deal? One, of course, yes, the look of it. It's gonna look better if you spin the full trick, but it's much sketchier to land in that 180 and continue swiveling because your weight is just moving around a little too much. If you can, in the air, get yourself to where you need to be, before you land on the rail, you're getting your weight to the correct place. This is a big one that's important to practice all the time, because if you get in the habit of under rotating tricks, that will stick with you, and I'm saying it because I watch it happen all the time. At a place like Trollhättan, I get to watch a lot of snowboarders snowboard. I get to see a lot of the mechanics of different types of snowboarders, and one thing I notice is if you create a bad habit on a tow rope, and any given day you could take 400 laps at Trollhättan, right? If you are doing something the incorrect way 400 times, that's the way you're gonna learn it, period. The easiest way to not have to relearn something is to learn it the correct way. Kind of why I'm making this video. There's a lot of people who could take this video and honestly become a really good fucking snowboarder. And I really mean that. I genuinely took a lot of time to think about the things that I consciously think about when I'm snowboarding. I really, really, really mean it, that these things aren't just a, oh yeah, this makes you cool, oh yeah, this will make people respect. No, 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 no. I am saying if you want to become a better snowboarder, these things will help. Under rotating spins onto rails is a hard habit to break because you're creating a comfortable point for yourself and it's hard to break comfort. Learn it uncomfortably and I promise it's gonna be easier. That was good. Thanks, Garrett. Much like the last one, it's just not allowing your momentum to keep going once you've done the spin. So we're gonna use the front 270 for example. Let's say you did it right, you spun fully onto this front two. It's a bit difficult to stop the momentum because you're essentially engaging in a frontside 360. If you're spinning it fully, your body is spinning like a frontside 360. With that being said, you're landing in a switch front board, but your body's gonna wanna continue to this 50-50. Don't do that. If the goal is to frontside 270 onto the rail, when you get on that rail in the frontside 270, I want you to stay in that position until the end of the rail that you would have made it 3 feet more of. There's nothing more out of control than a 270 that turns 360. The easiest way you can make sure you're staying in that initial board slide that you got in is you're gonna want to spin more with your hips rather than your upper body. If you throw your upper body this way and you keep your head going, it's gonna wanna do a 360. This is not a trick tip video, so I don't really need to go into this, but it's gonna be more of a lower body spin and you're trying to keep your chest in the same place, give or take. Moral of the story, if you spin onto the rail, spin fully. If you have spun onto the rail, stay in that position. This can kind of get lost in translation with like soul boarders who are just trying to go out and have fun, but also trying to get better and become this high-level boarder. Some days you just want to go out and rip around. And again, this video is not saying every single time you snowboard, do everything on this list. It's sort of be conscious about what you're doing on your snowboard and how it will affect you in other time. You and the homies, you're just lapping, you're cruising, you're surfing. Sure, you don't need to do the trick you just landed 6 times in a row to beat it into your brain. Not what I'm saying. This is just a light guideline, but the repetition thing is huge. I'm gonna say this now, and some people will probably be like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? But I'm gonna say it. I can tell if you've done something once or if you've done something 100 times. It's great. We have the internet. It's so cool. You can do something, you can post it, and everyone sees it. Sometimes it's more damaging than it is effective, positively. If you just did a trick one time, maybe try it again before you post it. The first time we do anything, it's scary. The first time we do anything, we're unfamiliar. And there's this term muscle memory that humans can use to their advantage. When you post a trick you've done once, I know you only did it once. You didn't learn that trick. That's a tough thing I deal with. People, I learned this trick. I learned this trick. No, you didn't. We did not go to school for one day. It was 12 years. We all went through kindergarten, 12th grade. It's because it takes a while to learn things. Much like your brain in a school, your brain on a snowboard needs the repetition as well. Take what you've learned and apply it to real life situations back to back to back to really understand what you're learning. It's snowboarding. That is snowboarding. If you have done something once, your body doesn't understand it. You sure as hell don't understand it. And I don't understand why you posted that clip. Really, I'm saying it out of love. There are people that I gravitate towards when it comes to watching them snowboard. And there are people that, yes, are my friends, that I don't necessarily go out of my way to watch because it's not that appealing to me. You know, when you watch your favorite boarder and it's just amazing to watch, you can almost feel their personality through their snowboarding. That's years and years and years of them doing this stuff. I get it. You just cab 270 through the quad for the first time. I'm not saying anyone's right or anyone's wrong. I'm saying I'm sitting in this chair talking to you, and this is what has got me in this chair talking to you. Standard number 6, aka Garrett's golden rule. Know when your homies are wrong. You ever been filming with your buddies? Or not even filming, you're just lapping with your buddies and you do something that you know good and damn well wasn't good and your homie starts gassing you up for it. Yeah, I'm not saying find better friends. That's sick. Your homie's like got your back and he's like gassing you up. If anything, that's good. You now know like, okay, yep, I'm doing something right. That's sick. You're now like getting more hyped. What I'm saying is, say you're filming a line. It was okay. And your homie's like, yo, sick, and like hands you your phone back. That's sort of when you look at him and say like, no, that was bad. That is like the most crucial thing to becoming your own better snowboarder. At the end of the day, when you watch someone that you like board, you're liking their snowboarding. So they've created their snowboarding that becomes tasteful. How could you create your own style and your own standard if when you know what you did was bad, but someone else said was good, so you said, okay. There's a reason why certain people win contests and certain people talk about, oh, I love this person's style. That's because that person formulated a style. That was not formulated based off of someone saying, good job, and you saying, okay, I'll move on. That was formulated and created because you did that for yourself. That's your own expression. Happens to me all the time. I'll film tricks with homies and they'll be like, yo, that was so good. And it's like, in my mind, if the rail was 3 feet longer, I wouldn't have made it to the end. Or, no, I did that front too, and I sort of started over spinning. As sick as it is that your homies think what you did was cool, At the end of the day, you're the only person that goes to bed with yourself. You're the person who has to know, I did good work today, or, today was not the best day. When you get done with a line, when you get done with this trick, if you don't think it was as good as you could have done it, go back up, do it again. It might be next try, it might be 34 tries later. It might not even happen that day, but the want to get it the way you want it is the most important thing. I can tell you there's a reason as to why hard tricks become easier for some people, and it's because they don't just take the first one. They aren't just landing something and moving on. They're saying, that was good, but it could be better. It goes back to that repetition. You do it again. You do it again. 2 to make it true. We've all heard 2 to make it true. It's important to hold yourself accountable. Yes, learning is learning and progress happens at all types of speeds for everyone. Some people learn really quick, some people take longer to learn. It doesn't matter what boat you're in. What matters is how you learn. Are you learning because you want to learn, or are you doing because you want people to see? People talk about football and how football players can take all these things they learn on the team with working together with people and problem solving. They can apply all of these things they learn to real life situations. It's no different for snowboarding. That's kind of why I started this video the way I did, because as silly as it sounded, it's really fucking true. What you choose to do when no one is around will determine what happens when people are. If you create a terrible habit out of stealing from people, being dishonest, just being a fucker, it's gonna be really hard to not steal. It's gonna be really hard to be honest. It's gonna be really hard to not be a fucker when the time comes to not do that stuff. So when you're riding in the park, yeah, of course have fun. Do not take it too seriously. But there's always room to get better. And I think that's sort of the whole idea of this is you're never really as good as you think you are. No matter what you're doing, there's a 10-year-old somewhere better than you. If you're demanding excellence in training mode, you're probably gonna be excellent in competition mode. So whatever you want to do with this information, it's on you. If I can leave you with anything, it's that whole must be nice thing is just a fallacy to keep you from being the version of yourself you could be.